Hey everybody, if you're here it's because you're looking on how to make a music video on a budget, which is what we're going to go over. You can apply this to other videos, but we're going to stick with music videos since that's what we tend to do the most of. Um, we're going to go over what you need as far as a checklist, some equipment ideas, and how to make one for $2,000 or less, $1,000 or less, and $500 and less. And hopefully this will help you out. If it's your first time, fear not. We're going to cover all the things and the basics here. Now, we won't get into how to use a lot of the equipment. We will be making more videos on how to use equipment, how to use different editing softwares, mainly Final Cut Pro, and kind of get you started in that in other videos. But for this, we're just going to give you an idea, an outline, and kind of let you figure out what works for you and what works with your budget. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so first off, you're going to need to make a checklist of some sort. When you come to a checklist, is basically what kind of video are you shooting? What are you shooting for? What are you going to need for this video? First and foremost, an idea. I mean, if you're just wanting to shoot somebody, you know, singing or rapping or doing whatever they're doing, and they just want to be in front of a car and or in a nice house or whatever. It just depends on the premise. We shot a video, you can check it out on the channel, called Murder on That Beat. With that, we wanted to do a horror movie style because the song we were releasing for Halloween. So go check that out, and you'll see what ours took a little bit different turn because we had to plan on costumes and hash out some sort of a storyline. Most videos nowadays don't have one. It's just kind of showcasing your talent and, just cool locations, cool effects. So just get an idea, and that'll also help you as far as what equipment you're going to use and what all you're going to need for that. Second is to come up with a budget. You're going to know about how much you can spend. Now, the good thing is, between credit cards, payment plans, a lot of places now will let you, I think it's PayPal, they offer a thing where you can pay in installments. So that helps a lot of people out. So you can get it and make payments on it. But that'll also give you an idea of what you can shoot. And you can shoot a good looking video with minimal equipment with the technology that we have today. So that's good. When things being social media, that tends to be the best way to promote yourself. So the budget is important. What equipment, depending on the idea that you come up with for your video, the budget you have, that'll kind of give you an idea, and you can start searching equipment from there. And we'll talk about the different equipment. And like I said, I'm not going to go into how to use it, but at least I'll give you a heads up on what it does. We had to get some actors and players and stuff like that. What I tended to do was to get people I knew that just wanted to hang out and have a good time, or people that thought it would be cool to be able to see themselves in a video. And we just got those, so it didn't cost me anything. I had to pay for food, but other than that, nothing much. The location, is it something that you're going to have to rent? Or are you going to rent a house to shoot a video? Or are you going on vacation and would like to do it in there? That'll save you because you're already doing it. We shot ours in a park, and then this cool little area, this public land. It's got like a little mineral spring on it. And so we went and shot there. But locations, props, we had to use, you know, uh, wigs, masks, uh, things of that nature. So we were able to shoot. I'm gonna talk mainly about what our video cost, and ours was close to $2,000 range to get everything, but I had absolutely nothing to start with, and so and we didn't use a lot of it. Turns out we didn't use most of what we did because things change. You got to be flexible when it comes to shooting these videos because life happens. And so with us, we were supposed to start in shooting off in a house. So we started off and I bought lights because you never knew what kind of lighting you were going to get. I didn't know if the electricity was going to be on because it was a house up for sale that the owner was going to allow us to use to make it like a haunted house. And then it ended up selling the week we were going to shoot. So then we had to rewrite it and ended up deciding to shoot it in the park. So we ended up not using the lighting because we used natural light. Now I could have used the lighting on one scene. If you watch it, you'll see we ended up using a burn barrel to get the flames, and I wanted it kind of dark, and it was in the middle of the woods, and I didn't think to bring the lights, which would have helped me tremendously considering that the fire did not put off as much light as I hoped. And so we had that entire scene was shot with three separate scenes, and we just went all the way through and just cut up and used what we could use because I had to get it out and have time. We were hitting a deadline. Um, and the editing software. So the equipment, the location, props, and editing software is going to make up basically what you're going to be spending. I'm not going to include the computer, in this. You do have to have a computer that can run certain editing softwares, but there's a lot of free ones. So the computer I will not include into the equipment price. This is something that you can do, and if you get good enough at it, make some money. And it's fun. And the hardest part's probably the editing. And once you learn how to work the equipment, then that's not as big of a deal. So let's go ahead and get into it and get into the equipment. We'll start off with the $2,000 budget and then we'll work our way down. All right, let's go. All right, so first thing that we're going to look at is going to be a gimbal stabilizer. Now, this is the newer version. So what I had was the DJI Ronin S, which is this particular one. I got this because I bought an older camera and it's a little bit bulkier, and so this is the one that it fit on. But most of the equipment that you're going to use today is going to use the smaller one, the DJI RSC2. For those of you who don't know what the gimbal does, is it allows you to get very smooth shots. So when you're walking or when you're moving around, it allows you to, keep the camera steady because it's on a swivel. Look it up; it's pretty cool the way that they work. But I will say there is a learning curve with it to some extent. The second thing we'll look at is the camera stabilizer. This allows you to hold the camera handheld and move around with it. It kind of does what the gimbal does. It's not as bulky. The gimbal takes some assembly. This is kind of like you just put the camera on it and roll with it. It allows you to get a smoother shot. I will say I didn't realize when I started just how shaky, even if you're recording and you're looking at the camera, you don't realize how shaky it can be. It's the stabilizer. One tip, keep your elbows into your body, walk heel to toe, and that'll help a lot. But the stabilizer is a second thing, and this is for $20. All right, next thing you want to get is going to be an SD card for memory. Now, this is what uh, my camera takes. Obviously, there's different SD cards that fit different things, and as things continue to get smaller or to get more technologically advanced, then the cards and the memory capabilities and hardware will change. But this is what I use. As you can see, is it's $30 for 128 gigs. When you use this, you can also upload it into external hard drives once you're done shooting, so you can continue to use this. You don't have to worry about it filling up. You can keep it if you want, but usually you want to kind of format it each time you use it just to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And I found that this was plenty for what I was doing. Um, and you can buy multiple ones if you need it. But if you format it, it wipes everything off. Just to be clear, that's why I was saying I always upload mine to a external hard drive once I get home. All right, so this is the Nikon D5200. This is the camera that I used. Um, these are not in production anymore. And when I bought it, it was $694. Now it's 600, so that's good. You can get these older cameras, the DSLRs, for cheaper. They're they now mainly use mirrorless cameras, and you'll have to look up the differences. Um, but I bought this because it was in my price range. I got it used. Now, I will say this. I found out later that the Nikon D5200 was not necessarily great for video. It shoots video and you can watch our music video. You can get good video out of it. But if you're looking for specific to video, there are other cameras that are a lot better at shooting video. These are great for picture taking, but they lack, some of the things that you can get when it comes to shooting video. So this is what I use, and like I said, this is just to give you an idea. All right, so the next thing, and this is something that we actually used a lot more than I thought we would because I was thinking that we would be more mobile with our shots, but there is so much you can get on a tripod, and especially if you're shooting by yourself, then this works out very well. But like you see at the top, you can get this for $15. You get down here, you got a $40 option, but $15 unless you're going to be in some kind of crazy environment. As long as it's just sitting still, that should be plenty for you. But I definitely recommend getting a tripod. All right, so next, what we have is lighting for your videos. So this is, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The 18-inch LED video light panel lighting system. This is right at 300 bucks. Um, Bicolor LED. I got the ones under this one, and so I'll talk about that in the $1,000 and less. But if you can afford this, then these are good. And this is a step up. There's just different options that come with it. And so it's something that you want to look into. Now, I will say this, if you can get a battery pack with that, and I'm not going to include this because this is an optional thing, but um, the battery allow you to be more mobile. And it comes with a plug-in, and if you can run extension cords to where you're going, you'll be fine. But it does give you a little bit more freedom if you can afford the battery pack. And the last thing I'm gonna go into is the editing software. All right, so what I got as my editing software is Final Cut Pro. Now I decided to go to Apple. I do own Windows laptops also, but I record a lot of the music, and I like to use the Apple when I record. I've just gotten used to that, and so I bought an Apple computer that was compatible with Final Cut Pro 10. So I like it. Um, there are so many tutorials on YouTube, and basically, you can get an idea of what you want to do, research that particular idea and how to do it, and you don't have to learn the entire program at once if you're trying to get a video out, and you can kind of pick up things and get better at what you do as you go. But Final Cut Pro is what I'm going to recommend. Um, because it's what I know. Now there are other programs out there that I'm sure if I'd have used prior to using this, I might have more, but I'll just be honest. This is the only one that I've used. This is what I started learning on, and it just the workflow is very easy. I was able to catch on to it very quickly, so I'm sure you can too. All right, so if we add all, and this also has free trial where you can. I think there's some limitations as far as the effects that they give you. But as far as the program itself, from what I understand, you can do everything on it that you can do after you buy it. But the free trial, I think, is 30 or 90 days, something like that. So you can actually get this for free and try it out if you want to. And so that's a plus. All right, so going over everything that we've done so far, that comes out to be $1,993.99. And that's without taxes, I understand, but this is for the 2000 and under budget. All right, so for the $1,000 and under, these are the lights that I bought. Like I said, I got the one that was a step down. I think it was what, like, well, like $90 less, something like that. But these work great. They come with the little barn doors where you can kind of direct or deflect light. I bought some. Uh, you can get little gel covers to give you different lighting effects, red, blue, to give tones. But you can do a lot of the tones in the editing program. So unless you're going for a specific look, you don't have to spend money on things like that. And the lighting doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to be able to kind of see. And I know there's going to be film students or people that went to school for this that are going to have very differing opinions. But what I'm trying to get you started on is a complete amateur because like I came in and by no means was our video great, but like I said, check it out. It's on the channel, but you'll see what we were able to do with, you know, very little experience. Now, don't get me wrong, I do a lot of research and we did do a lot of practice shots just for like, I don't know, like 2 weeks straight for hours. We would just go out there and get different angles and see what kind of different lightings worked. I made my youngest son my guinea pig, and he just had to kind of sit there and while me and his older brother, who was, the cameraman on that video, uh, just get different shots and see how it went. So, um, but yeah, so this is the lighting that I used. So for $1,000 and less, I would recommend that if lighting is something you need. If not, then you can forego this and save some money. If I was doing the $1,000 and under, I would not get the gimbal, but I would get the video stabilizer. Uh, and just make sure that whatever you get fits it. You can get stabilizers for, um, cameras, the DSLRs, the mirrorless cameras. You can get stabilizers that fit cell phones. Um, Here's a gimbal stabilizer for a cell phone. So, I mean, if you're going to shoot it with your cell phone, that might be something you can get. But I said these are things that I would go, and I could give you links to the equipment that I use, and I may put them in the video. But really and truly, it should be something that you look for and feel like you would want to use. Everything I showed you in the $2,000 budget are things that I use, but I can only speak from using them one time. So, I mean, do some research and find out what you can find. So, I would definitely get a stabilizer that, fits in your budget. The other thing would be, you know, a camera. So, and the editing software. So I still, for the editing software for the 1,000 and under, if you didn't check out, it would be Final Cut Pro, and that's going to be $300. All right, the stabilizer, let's just say you get a crazy good one, we'll say it's $50, which I even, you know, you can get this and it comes with dual wireless mic cables or whatever. So we'll say, okay, $60. So you're at $360. The lighting, if you want to get it, mine was 210. All right, so we're at like $570. So that leaves you, a good bit of money to try to find a a good camera that you want. Now, you can get a straight video camera, and I'm looking at everything on Amazon because if I were you, which Amazon, I mean, they do carry, but if I were you, I would try to get something that is something in the affordable range, especially for your first video. So if we get the Panasonic Lumix FZ80 4K digital camera, then that's going to bring you to a total of $967. So that's just an idea of what you can get for $1,000 or less. For the $500 and less, if you just skipped to this because you couldn't afford the rest of the stuff and didn't even want to bother watching, that's fine. I would recommend getting a free software editing program. There's a bunch of them out there. My oldest son uses them to do tutorials on YouTube. He does different gaming tutorials. Um, so, and when I asked him, he's like, I just searched for free editing software. You can read reviews, so that cuts out a lot of cost. Location, just try to shoot in locations that have good lighting so you don't have to worry about it. But most video or most cameras on camera phones now work great. And camera phone is usually something people already have. So uh, if you've already got a camera that can do that, or you can get on Amazon, search video cameras. There are a lot of them that are under $200. Now, you're not going to be able to get a lot of bells and whistles for under $500 if you get a free editing software and you get like a handheld video camera for, $300 or less, then you're well on your way. And from there, you can buy small things as you go. And so I know the $500 one, you may have been expecting more, and I'm sorry on that. It's just what we used and what I've realized is we could have made this for a lot cheaper. So as long as you have an idea and a drive and a will, you can get out there, get started, and do it just like we can. Please like and subscribe. There will be a lot more content. I will get more in depth on the equipment we used for the video. We're going to try to have some behind the scenes footage that we'll eventually upload, and we're going to try to get as much out as we can, and hopefully this turns into something. So any questions, comments, whatever, leave them in the comment section, like and subscribe, and until next time.